Ready to be bored? Welcome to Guitar Chords Info String Tuning Up Part 3. As promised, here's some more basic setup material for you, and I know that such things tend to be boring, but I believe it's information that you need to know before you move on. So in this Part 3, I want to talk to you about how to hold the guitar and how to hold the pick, because in the next video, that'll be the part where you start to actually put your hands on the guitar. Now, traditionally, the guitar is held on the right knee, and you want to hold it so that you can reach the guitar with both hands with relative ease and efficiency. You don't want any of this holding it way out there like the guys on TV do. That's for show. For the beginning, traditionally it's held on the right knee. Now you may have noticed in the previous videos that I've been using a strap all of this time, and I'm going to go back to that now because that's what I've become used to over the years, and it works well for me. And I'm not necessarily advocating using the right knee or the strap, either one. If it works for you, it works. But whatever you do, you want to be able to reach the neck of the guitar with your fretting hand, and you want to be able to reach the body of the guitar with your strumming hand. So as long as you got those, as long as you're doing those, then you're really doing okay. And as you gain experience, you'll find what works for you. But really, if you don't already have a method of holding the guitar and you're an absolute beginner, I would say just holding it on the right knee would work just as good as anything else. And of course, you don't want it right on the end of the knee. You want it actually on the right leg would be a better way to put it, but maybe close to the knee, but obviously not so far towards the knee that it's going to slide off. So as long as you can reach the guitar with both hands without it sliding off your knee, then that should work. And now, how to hold the pick. The way to hold the pick, I believe, is firmly in between the thumb and the index finger, and you want to have about half of the pick in between your thumb and finger and about half of it showing. And I believe that the ideal way to hold a pick can really be related to a predicament. And here's what I mean. There's really two pitfalls that you can fall into when using a pick. Either you miss strings with the pick when you use it, you don't hit the string when you intend to, or the pick comes out of your hand. And here's an example of what I mean. Now let's say I just barely pinched the pick and I've got this much of it exposed. I'm probably not going to miss the strings, but I'm going to drop the pick for sure that way. Now if I choke way up on the pick so that I've just got a little bitty tip exposed, I'm not going to drop it, but I'm probably going to miss some strings. So I believe having half of the pick between your thumb and finger and half of it exposed to strike the string is the happy medium. And one thing that I want to warn you about as a beginner, and that is you're probably going to drop the pick some at first. I remember when I was a beginner, I dropped the pick very frequently, and if I was really lucky, I dropped it and it went down here in the sound hole, and then I'd have to give it this to get my pick out. So if you drop the pick at first, that's perfectly normal. So that does it for Part 3, and in Part 4 we're going to tune the guitar. As you remember, in Part 2 I detuned the guitar to show you how different a chord can sound if a guitar is in tune or not in tune. So in Part 4 we'll start to, that'll be the part where you actually start to pick your guitar up, and in Part 4 I'll start sharing with you some strategies and resources for tuning the guitar. And meanwhile, if you could, please give me a like, even though we're this has all been basic setup material so far, which has not been exciting. And by the way, thank you for bearing with me this far. If you can just bear with me a little bit more, we'll start playing chords, and it'll hopefully gradually start to get interesting for you, and you'll start to enjoy it. And please subscribe, because there's always more of these videos on the way, and please leave a positive comment. And that does it for part 3. See you in part 4.